February, February 1st to be exact. And you are here for the weekly tap in. And I'm tapping in. What's up, peoples? What's really good? What is really good? We're going to wait for a few more people to get up in this piece because I know I didn't give y'all no heads up. But I'm going to go ahead and share this with my folks right quick. Get my camera together. Share this with my weeples. You know what I'm saying? And the importance of sharing this is share this. Share. Hit that share. Let everybody know we do this every Monday. Every Monday we got the weekly tap in. Every Monday I give you an opportunity to share what you need to share. Every Monday I give you some game. Game that can't be duplicated, man. One of our homeboys just got him certified with the LLC. Just told me, man, somebody charged him I think it was $2,500 before that to give him an LLC, man. We did it in a few minutes, couple $100. He done. Done deal. So that's what I'm into, providing nuggets of value, man. Nuggets of value on my entrepreneurial dream. So, yeah, man, share it. I'm sharing it now. I'm tapping in with my folks, man. Just do it real quick. Put it on your phone. Tap in. All right. Just that fast, man. Just to share the love, share this channel. We're trying to grow, so I appreciate everything you guys are bringing, and I try to bring my best every time we get up on this mic. Talk to you guys about what I'm doing, how I'm moving the needle on my entrepreneurial endeavors, right? What things I'm looking at, right? What moves I made that weren't necessarily right. One of the things that I did notice about myself this week was that I'm developing more patience, right? I'm developing more patience to understand what's for me is for me, right? Let that soak in for a minute, man. What's for me is for me, right? Because there's a lot of times it's hard for us to really come to terms with that because we're so used to looking to the left and to the right. And when everybody else gets blessed, I'm sitting there wondering, why not me, right? Why not me? Right. And then with these two brothers talking about viral videos, right? And they were talking about tapping in. What's up, Austin, Texas? I see you. All right now. Appreciate you, Austin, tapping in, man. Good to see Texas up in the house, man. I got a lot of love in Texas, man. Appreciate you guys listening, tapping in. Make sure you guys subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to, so it's down here. If you're on the YouTube, tap in. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe and the notifications so that you don't miss an episode when we go live. We got any special guests. We drop any new podcast episodes, right? But one of the things, man, that they talked about in the viral video was they were talking about YouTube channels, and they were talking about, whether you need to get yours popping, got all these people going, and whether you need 1 million subscribers and all these things, right? And they were talking about videos going viral, right? So what's up now? I see you, Shalonda. All right now. All right. And they were talking about videos going viral, right? And just imagine. A lot of times people thinking, man, I need all this money. Imagine if you got all the money that you wanted, right? All the money that you dreamed for. Are you ready for it? Are you set up the right way? Do you have an accountant? Do you have a tax guy? Right? Are you set up for this, what you want? Right? One of the things I learned a long time ago was if you want to be blessed, act as if you already have it. Act as if you already possess it. Act as if it's already yours. And if that's the case, how do you move? Right? Most millionaires and billionaires aren't buying bullshit. Right? They're buying stuff that you can't see. Right? Long-term assets. So if you received your bag, this bag that you want now, are you mentally ready to handle it? Right? Which leads me to the point of this entire subject, which is waiting your turn. Your patience. A lot of times we get no's, right? And we think it's a rejection, right? And no's don't necessarily mean no. They're not. I don't take no as no. I've been in sales. I've been in sales for 20 years. No doesn't mean no. It means not right now. It means not for you. It means you're not the right one, right? And a lot of times we think, and I'll take it back to girls, right? Remember that girl we thought she was the best thing since sliced, or dude, or whatever. Best thing since sliced bread. I want to marry her. And you see him or her 20 years later. And you thank God that they didn't allow you to marry him or her, right? Because they ain't what you thought they were going to be, right? At that time, they seemed like the proper blessing, the only thing that you ever wanted. And God, for some reason, wouldn't let you get it. Wouldn't let you hold on to it, wouldn't let you keep it. And you wondering, wow, man, I'm then 20 years later, you go down the road, you see that person, you're like, man, thank God. So a lot of times you think that you want something, you think that you want this certain thing. And when it comes, you need to be mentally, and not only mentally, but financially prepared for you to handle it. So do you want, oh man, I want to, my business, are you ready? We're not ready to go viral for my hair company. Man, if we got more than 50 orders in a day, we'd be done. It's too much, right? So a lot of times you think, oh, I want Oprah. Are you ready for Oprah? Because if your systems aren't in place and you're not set up for that, you're going to piss a lot of people off, right? So the same thing with your dream job, your dream position. Are you set up for that? Or would you go in at this point doing a half-assed job, right? Embarrassing yourself, making people hate you. So a lot of times, same thing. I always use Nipsey Hussle as an example. Let's do his early stuff. His early stuff was not good. It was not. And imagine if he rose to that level of stardom at the time where his stuff wasn't that good. The timing. Have you heard the song Perfect Timing? Perfect time, it seems like I'm too late. You know what I'm saying? It does seem like you're too late. Seem like your time has already passed. Look at these young homies. They up here in Bentleys and whoa. Man, my time barely pushing the Cutlass. My time has passed. No, it hasn't. Absolutely not. You got to be patient. You got to look at that shine. A lot of times God's showing you that shine to see how you're going to react to it. If you're going to be a salty homie, you're going to be blessing. Or you're going to understand that that's for them. That's for them. What's used for you, right? You might be parlaying with the jewels in Grand Cayman. That's your floss. Theirs might be a vehicle, right? You got to understand positions, right? You ain't gonna see Dean Lyman talking about, man, why I ain't getting passing yards, dog? I need more passing yards. Because Dean Lyman worried about sacks. They worry about tackling somebody. So you can't be worried about somebody else's bag and somebody else's opportunity because it may not be for you. You'll hear me say it over and over and over again. What's for you is for you. The car, the woman, the house, you name it, it is already written in stone, waiting for you to discover your greatness. And that's what we're here to do, is bring out the greatness that's already existing inside you. One of the gifts that I have is that I know how to put oxygen right on that right spot to where it hits that spark that's already inside of you, that idea that was already inside of you. I know how to give it the right type of oxygen to get that fire cracking. And once that fire is cracking, as long as you stay away from those people who aren't trying to put out that fire, you should be able to turn it into a raging inferno. And the way you do that is you keep adding oxygen, the right type of oxygen to it. And there's certain type of people that will speak life into your dreams, right? And you want to keep those people close. But what happens when you don't have those people? What happens when you can't find somebody to speak life into you? What happens? It sucks, first of all, because everybody you turn to got a different type of horror story about something that they haven't done yet, right? And they plant that little seed because your mind is so fertile at that time. It's like a garden. It's just running around looking for seeds to get planted. And if you run around to the wrong person, they're going to plant some bullshit, some doubt in your head. Some you can't do this because I never done it type shit in your head. Some, if you do that, you're going to make us all have to move type shit in their head. Right? So you want to be careful where you take your fertilized mind, especially when you're at this position where you're developing ideas. When you're developing ideas, you need to stay around people that could give you the proper fertilizer, give you the proper nutrients, right? You need to stick around people that are going to be speaking life into your dream. They're going to give you the resources, not just speak that shit, but give you the resources in order to accomplish that. Right? A lot of people don't understand that, man. I don't just talk this shit. I don't just say, hey, man, I'm successful. My success depends upon you believing I'm successful. No, that's bullshit. My success depends upon me learning more and more skills. And the more skills that I learn, the more I can come and bring it back to the bag, bring it back to the lab, bring it back to the village. Right? And that's what we're supposed to be doing, is learning for each other. So no, my skills aren't dependent upon manipulating my audience. I don't do that. I don't need to. I told you guys I got the game, the plug. He never closes. He got a garage full of them. So I go to him whenever I need more information, and he gives it to me every time. And right now what I'm doing is working on my self-talk. Talked about that last time. Self-talk. What I'm saying to myself. Nah, D, that ain't for you just yet. Nah, you ain't ready just yet, dog. Nah, man, imagine if you made it to Oprah right now, you don't even have a book. What can you push? So do you want your dream to come true now, or do you want to be prepared to keep your dream? That's the thing, man. One thing is getting the shit. Two is keeping it. Because the thing about it is I want to go viral when I'm ready to go viral. When I have my system set up, when I have my books in place, when I have my website all together. That's when I want to go viral. That's when I want to go big. Right now I'm in the training grounds. And a lot of times there's no glory in the training grounds. When you're going after your dream, there's no glory in training. Who likes fucking practice? Right? Allen Iverson talked about that. Practice is practice. Yeah, but that's the best time to develop, right? Your repetition. But there's no glory in repetition in practice, right? Very few talk about it and engage in it. But for you, hustler, job man, whatever you're doing right now, I was just telling my students, whenever I come to this, I leave 2 hours of lecture. So I'm lecturing for 2 hours before I actually even get to my lot. And I just told them right now, every single job that you have, every single job that you've been to, every single job that you're going to, is paid training, dog. That's it. It's paid training. It's free training. Here's the paid training. We're going to give you lunches. We're going to give you a salary. We're going to give you some medical insurance to come learn our business. And ain't that a perspective on a job? Change the whole perspective. Now I'm trying to go as many experiences as I can, because first they used to talk about how, oh, you need to stick at one job and have one experience. No, the hell I don't. I need to go as many places as possible for me to learn as many skills as possible to develop ideas, right? Because the more places that I go to work, the more ideas I'm going to have. Oh, this entrepreneur oh, you started like that? Oh, your dad was in the coffee, so he used to work oh, that's how you started the coffee shop? Oh, shit, okay. So I need to go work at a few coffee shops. Yeah, go work at a few coffee shops. You want to start selling rims? Go work at a rim shop. Figure out what the ticket is on the rims. Figure out what you need to get started. Oh, they do credit? So all I need is corporate credit. I actually don't need money. No, because we don't carry any rims. We only buy one rim. Oh, yeah, you only buy one rim? Yeah, it don't cost you that much. So all these rims you probably maybe spent 2-3 bands on. Yeah, and we just order them for them and take 20%. Oh, is that right? I didn't know that because I've always been on the other side of buying rims. I've never bought them wholesale and don't understand how that process works. But lo and behold, if I start working at a rim shop, if I start going to these types of businesses that I want to do, I'm going to learn it. I'm going to learn the manufacturers. I'm going to learn the suppliers. I'm going to learn the middlemen. What else am I going to learn? I'm going to learn what products to keep, what products didn't sell, right? What poor management is. I'm learning all these different things. Why? Because I'm patient. Patience is the key to all this, and understanding what process you're going through. We're all going through a process. We're all transitioning into something else. In order for us to be successful, we got to pay attention to every part of that process, of that journey, right? Your prison, you've been to the pen. Don't neglect that. Write that down. What did I learn from prison? First job, McDonald's. What I learned about flipping these damn cheeseburgers. Well, I learned about management. I learned about human resources. I learned that they're always short on the weekends, so people don't like to work on the weekends. So when I'm hiring and I start my burger joint, I knew that much. I know to keep breakfast because breakfast sells, right? I saw McDonald's getting McMuffins off every morning, 1,000 of them. So I know that there's a market for breakfast here. So maybe I do breakfast, man, F dinner, because people are eating at the house. I learned that by going to McDonald's. I learned that we have more sales in the morning than we do in the dinner time because I was paying attention. I wasn't just talking shit about fries, right? I was actually paying attention to what kind of business was going on. You see, the key to life is not just being exposed to information. It's knowing what questions to ask. That's the key right there, right? Because we got all this information around us. We are in an abundance of information, no shortage of Google searches. But what kind of Google searches are we performing? Are we asking the right questions, right? Are we being patient with our entire process? This is not a process that's overnight. This is a marathon, homie. Nipsey Hussle got the conversation started. Marathon. People don't understand. You know how long marathon? 26.2 or something like 26.6 miles. Right? This ain't no 5K. Right? We in this for the long haul. And every stop is a learning point. But if we don't take advantage of it, right? If we pay more attention to what the naysayers are saying, because all the time we get caught up into that too. Why are we giving them any action? For what? Somebody telling me I can't do it? Now, I'm not saying go against sage advice, right? Because older people and people who have experiences, but you had to have do it, dog. If you haven't done it, you can't tell me something about speculation, homie. Right? So I'm telling cats about the cocaine game. That game is shady and bad. And I'm not telling you because I sold weed all my life. Right? Two different ball games. Cocaine's a cutthroat game, man. You might get killed in it. High probability. Or a lot of time. It's just one of those things, right? So you can't tell me anything about that. Right? But now I'm learning about different things. I'm in academia now. I'm in the hair business now. I'm in the tour business now. So now I'm learning about tour. I'm learning about safety. I'm learning about the highway patrol. I'm learning about that side of marketing. So the more businesses that I'm in, the more experiences that I have, the more I can share with you guys and tell you guys, hey, homie, there's an opportunity here. If you're going to start this business, if you're going to make burgers, you need to be different. Off the top, I don't care what kind of burgers you're making. But you better not just say that they're the best burgers in town. That's not going to fly, pimping. You need to tell me something more than that. You need to differentiate on something more than that. So if you haven't learned that side of things, if you got a lump sum of money and haven't learned how to deal with customers, you're going to have a problem pretty soon. I don't care how much money you have. Because I've seen a lot of companies, a lot of people build businesses with their foundation being flimsy, right? Not understanding how to treat people, right? Not understanding how karma works, right? The jacker's always the last one to understand how karma works. Ain't that some shit? The jacker, they don't get it. They like, man, I'm trying to get this. Like, homie, but you hit people, dog. There's reckoning for that. You can't just take their money and go flip it legitimately. You're going to have to pay for that back at some point in time in the game, homie. So these karmic things I can't control. But what I can tell you guys is try to get on the right side of karma as soon as possible so that you can start living life to the fullest. If you're not on the right side of karma, then there's a problem, right? But you can do that by helping homies. If you licked homies, you hit them, you jacked them, you need to figure out, do a count. Let me see, 5, 6, I hit 5, 6. Let me help 5 or 6 homies out, period. Let me bless them, try to get on the right side of karma because I need to do this so that my business thrives, right? And you can't do other things. You can't be out there cheating and doing all that stuff on females and thinking you're going to have right karma. It may be cool for a minute, but after a while, it starts to bite you and you wonder why your dreams and everything is stagnant, right? Because you got to have karma right in all aspects of life. You just do, right? And one of my partners, Angelo, when we was in the pen, I remember I told you guys a story a long time ago. I was sitting up there writing all my goals out. I'm going to buy 4.5 when I get out, flip that into, I'm going to do that by 3 times, and I should be up on a 9, and then I'll be up on a half a yick. And I had this plan, this written out verbatim. And he just laughed at me. And he's like, hey, homie, he's like, you think that's going to work? I was like, yeah, I'm going to do exactly, I know the ticket. He said, there's no right way to do the wrong thing, homie. I don't care how detailed and He says, you just can't do it. And this is what I'm trying to stress to a lot of the homies on here, right? Get clean, dog. Try to reduce your dirt, at least to a minimum. And then start focusing on your dreams, right? Start focusing on these little tiny things. Change little small. I'm reading a book called Tiny Habits now. I'm always reading, man. You guys know me, man. Always be reading, man. Hashtag always be reading, right? But I'm reading stuff now that's telling me about these small little changes that I can make, right? I want to start. I'm tired of stories. These stories are trash. I just watched the Denzel movie that was whack. I watched the other movie that wasn't no good, The American Skin. And I'm sitting up there like, man, I'm going to take a creative writing course. I'm going to take a creative writing course so I can learn how to write stories better. Because this is how I would have made that ending. This is how I would have did that. Right? So whenever I think of something, whenever I see an opportunity, I don't complain about it anymore. I'll take an action. Okay, I don't like the way that half of these stories are written. I either write a better one or I influence my kids to write better stories. Right? But we start that creative story writing process now. One of the things that when I was a kid, nobody talked about writing stories. That's why we have all this whack ass shit on TV right now. It's because the people my age weren't writing stories. These other people were writing stories and they got hired and they're in Hollywood chilling. Whereas we don't understand that process, right? We want to come as actors, right? Our ego's always in front of us. We need to be writers, right? Because who's telling these stories? Some white folks, right? Who's telling black stories? Some white folks. Then there may be one black in a room who's married to somebody white. So you really don't get a genuine experience, which is why we get this shit that we have on TV. But how do we change it? We got to change it. And that's what I planned on doing, right? So if you see something in your area, this is where business ideas are developed. They are developed on problems. You got to see a problem, solve it. What don't they have in your city, right? If it's a beauty supply, so be it, because that's what we like beauty supplies for some reason. But if it's a beauty supply, so be it. But how are you going to differentiate? If you were to create a beauty supply store right now, what would make you different? And this is the problem. We don't have an answer for that. So, oh man, it ain't gonna be price. The agent's gonna smack you. So can you compete on price? I don't know. They do their buying in teams, right? So, we're kind of divided in that sense. But I pose this question to you, my audience. You guys put it in the comments. If you were to start a beauty supply, how would you differentiate yourself? And these are hard questions to ask. Real hard, difficult. Because we don't know, because we're not looking on that. A lot of times the first thing we're looking at is, can I open the business? Well, that's the first step. Anybody can do that. Not anybody. I hate saying that. Somebody said that about me. Anybody can do that. Man, anybody can't do shit. If they could, they would, and it'd be done. That's not everybody. So if you were to start a beauty supply, how would you differentiate? Or could you, right? There's different ways to do it. I could stock all organic products. I could do this. I could do that. You could do something as simple as offering free water. I'm telling you, it does not take much. Costco offers samples. You could offer samples. You can say, okay, let me get a helper minute. I'm gonna just offer, or even if I have to do that, offer samples in the morning, breakfast samples. They got these bagels that when you go in there and shop, they are spanking. And let somebody else brag about something else besides the thing that everybody can compete with you on. That's the key, right? You look at our Yelp reviews, they're talking about chocolate. Not always talking about hair. They talk about the chocolates and the little gifts they give us. Right? Because these are the things that differentiate us. We can't compete on price. We don't have that bulk pocket like that. But we can figure out different techniques that make us unique and different. And this is why I encourage all my entrepreneurs to start thinking about as well. What's making you unique and different, right? If you don't know, then be patient with yourself. Because a lot of times we don't know. We haven't got that class yet. We haven't signed up for that yet. We didn't know that we needed to know that yet, right? And this is the thing with a lot of people. We don't know what we don't know, right? The more we learn, the more we realize we don't know that, right? And the more access we get to information once we start to explore what we don't know. And we make the assumption that business is easy. Anybody can open the store. The homie opened up the store. He just put up the cash, put his girl in there. Yeah. Is he successful? Is he putting half his bag in there? Probably. Right? So you want to be successful in the sense to where you don't have to fund it in that way. Right? But it takes business sense and acumen, which we all pretty much possess if we sold any type of drugs. Right? We have some type of business sense. So now the key is trying to put that together and formulate that into what you want to become. But back to the original topic, you have to be patient. You have to wait on your development, right? You can't go into a swimming class in the first week, say, you know what? After this class, I'm taking it to the Pacific Ocean. I'm going to dive off the Manhattan Beach Pier and see if I can make it back. Right? That's silly confidence, right? Because then now you're risking hypothermia, risking all these different things, and they haven't told you some of the things that you need to learn yet. So this is the key with God. God will slow your ass down, champ. He will slow you down and make sure that you take those lessons, right? Because a lot of times we don't take the lessons. We're not there yet. Not there yet, right? We don't know how to grow business. We know how to set one up, but how do you grow it? Well, we haven't got to that module yet, right? How do we build our corporate credit? I haven't got to that module yet. So when you jump out there, a lot of times you're ill-equipped. You haven't got everything that you're supposed to get. You ran away from the counter without grabbing your salt and your ketchup and your napkins, right? You was so eager to get going, you forgot some of the essentials. And this is what happens when we're out there, right? We start to look to the left and to the right, and we don't know where they are in their journey. That's the most misleading part about it. We don't know where they are. We don't know where they are in their seasoning. We don't know where they are in their cooking process. They might be almost done. This might be their last hurrah, right? This might be all they have, right? So you can't get caught up into that. Don't get caught up into, just imagine if you got caught up in the gold grills, right? Just imagine now, oh man, all these cats getting gold grills, Plies got it. Now all these little young hats taking their gold grills out getting veneers, right? So you don't know where people are. So you got to be content with staying in your own lane. Be content with what you have. Be happy with it. God ain't gonna give you no more of it if you don't appreciate what he already sliding you. You don't appreciate the macaroni, the grilled cheese sandwiches and treat them like they're gold. He's not gonna give you lobster and crab. He just not, because you wouldn't treat the grilled cheese sandwiches right. You act like they wasn't shit. So this is the problem. When God gives you these small gifts, like a job that you may not respect, to think is rinky dink. Even you work at a golf course, you understand how it works, where the land is, what the maintenance costs. These are all opportunities, homie. And everything we sit up there and look at, like, damn, this is must damn only. Man, there's some places in this world you can go to and get a real quick wake-up call, right? About opportunity. And there's a ton of it. Don't sit up here and listen to what somebody else says. Even if somebody says get a job, go get one. Change your perspective on it. I'm here to learn your business. You don't have to tell them that, but you're there to learn their business. And they're paying you to learn their business and monitor it. Cool, dog. If I would have took that perspective, man, I would have had so many more jobs. Right? I was hustling. I took one job. Let me sell some rocks. Right? But if I had that perspective, it'd be much, much different, because I'd understand. I remember I worked at a sewer plant in the pen. Was happy about like 10 cents an hour. It was ridiculous. Right? And we look a lot of those jobs like, oh man, this is beneath me. I'll go work at Taco Bell right now. Period. McDonald's. You want to buy McDonald's? You got to work there. I think it's almost 2 years. You got to work in one before you can buy one. So when you see that big grown cat that looks like he should be golfing in there on fries trying to understand how all this shit works, it's probably because he's about to buy one, right? But McDonald's makes you go through that vigorous training from every level so that you can see how the business works from the inside out. That's why it's so imperative when you hear on-the-job training, right? And we don't talk about enough in our neighborhoods. We don't talk about enough amongst our community about this on-the-job training that we're getting. But you know what a lot of times we do? We spend time talking to the person complaining about the job, who doesn't understand the position that they're in, right? You guys have heard that term where the guy, the shoe company guy, sends his 2 kids to Africa or somewhere. I think it was Africa or somewhere. And one kid sends a postcard back, says, "Dad, send me a boat, man. Nobody wears shoes over here." The other kid says, "Dad, send me 4 or 5 boxes of shoes. 4 or 5 cases of shoes over here. Nobody wears shoes." So it's all perspective, right? One person saw it as being detrimental. The other person saw it as being an opportunity. And you'll have that at certain jobs. So you got to be careful of watching your conversation. Watching your conversation, watch who you share things with. People are poisonous, right? And it's not on any fault of their own. It's because of what they've been exposed to, right? But so what? That don't mean you have to be exposed to it. And that's the key right there, is watching who we're exposed to, watching how we talk to ourselves, and make sure that we're filling our computers up, because these are our computers right here, right? These things are our computers right here. They're the finest, most accurate machine that God's ever produced. But you have to be careful with the software programs that you put in it, right? What are you programming yourself with every day? What kind of self-talk are you programming? What's up, CJ? I see you. What type of self-talk are you programming yourself with on a day-to-day basis? Are you telling yourself you're a hero? I had to correct my son about this conversation. Man, I'm no good at this. Oh, hold on. Time out. I said we were all novice at some point. We were all no good at some point. We all sucked at some point, even sex, right? And some of us are still bad at that. But what I'm saying is, We were all inexperienced at some point. And it takes constant exposure and repetition for us to shape into who we are and become that experienced person. So the more repetition we have, yeah, our entire body is absolutely. So you have the energies. I'm reading a book right now about energy, strictly about energy, about being able to curb someone else's energy, right? Being able to telepath your energy to someone else. You can do all this stuff. It's fucking fascinating. And to try it out. I told you guys when I went on a running path the other day, I exuded positive energy and got it back. Right? You notice when you exude negative energy, you get it back as well. Doesn't matter. Energy is energy. So you might as well use it in a positive way. I'm telling you, yeah, coworkers, absolutely, especially coworkers. That shit is contagious. Cooler conversations. Oh, you got to be careful. You got to be careful because you can put an idea out there and somebody, because of the type of day that they're having, will impact you. I told you guys about that with Don McGarry Weiss. We talked about that. Always speak the impeccable word, right? And don't take things personal. It's part of the 4 agreements. But what he talks about is when you have an outfit on, right? And you fly, it's banking, man. Somebody says, man, that looks amazing because they felt good or they just hit the lottery. Right? You don't know they just hit the lottery and tell you, man, that's fly, dog. Man, damn, you look good. But when they get their car towed, they don't say shit to you. You had the same outfit on. So it's subjective. Doesn't have anything to do with you, right? So don't take it personal. But what you do need to be aware of is how you interact with that energy and make sure you check yourself on not only your energy, but the type of energy that you're around, right? Watch your conversations. Watch what you say about yourself more importantly than anything in the world. Don't call yourself fat. Don't call yourself stupid. Don't call yourself any of that. I'm work in progress. I'm one of the brilliant ones that hasn't been exposed and discovered yet. No one's discovered my greatness yet. Whenever I see somebody blow up, then I'm like, man, that's my lane, dog. You know what? I have to check myself again. You ain't ready yet, D. When you're ready, they're gonna call you. Right? Kings don't call themselves to the table. They get called up. Right? Dig that one. They'll tell you, oh, homie, it's your time. Come on up. Right? So when it's my time to talk to Jay-Z on my podcast, he gonna call me. You feel what I'm saying? He's gonna call like, hey, D, about time we linked up, man. I heard your cast. That's how that gets delivered. That's how God delivers, dog. You don't have to sit up there and chase something that's for you. What you got to chase it for? It's yours already. It'll come to you. Same thing with your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, whatever you're looking for, you will get it if it's for you. And if it's not for you, thank God that it didn't come to you. That's the key right there. Thank God that you didn't get it. I think about that. We were trying to buy a house in Moreno Valley. And I'm not hating on Moreno Valley, but I love where I live now. This is a much better experience for us. But when we got denied, right, we were devastated. We couldn't believe it. What are we going to do? What are we going to move? At that time, we were living in San Bernardino. That was a come up. A brand new house, nice neighborhood, But God had better plans. I don't want you guys in Moreno Valley. You're supposed to be in LA. Because had I been in Moreno Valley, I wouldn't have started those 2 companies. I can tell you that right now. So everything happens for a reason. I know that's cliche, and I know you've heard it over and over again, and I'm not trying to rub it in. But homie, there is so much to do with patience and waiting your turn, right? How many times have we been in line? Somebody, right? And we were just about to rush and try to claim our place in line. And they went ahead of us. And something that you may not have desired happened, or somebody cut you off in line. You're like, oh, okay. You didn't have to do anything. You didn't have to do anything. So that's the key right there. Wait your turn, dog. Wait your turn and understand what you're going through at this time. What do I need to learn? Do I need to become a better reader? Right? Ken Jennings on Jeopardy. He's cool, but he's not Alex Trebek. And he probably wasn't being prepared to be Alex Trebek either. But there's somebody out there that's prepared to be Alex Trebek. And they'll run into each other eventually. Right? But Ken Jennings ain't it. Because that's not what he was prepared to do. He's prepared to be a contestant, not the host, which means you have to read well. And he's not a well-read person. He can read, but he's not well-read like Alex. Alex was smooth. Sound like, that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times opportunities that come may not be for you, and it's perfectly okay to say no, or perfectly okay for that opportunity to say no to you, because it's those opportunities that you say no to that give you an opportunity for you to say yes to, right? That put some opportunities. If your cup is always full and you're not filling other people's cup, God can't put nothing in yours. So that's our weekly tap in. I know I kept you guys a little bit longer, man, but I'm tapping out. I will check you guys in for next week. Make sure you guys put your shout out to your city in the comments, man. Make sure you guys hit the subscription over here. If you're on YouTube, it's right down there. Hit subscribe. We appreciate it. Make sure you guys leave a review on the podcast, man. Podcast is important to us. We're trying to bring it to you guys. Make sure you guys tap in on iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you get podcasts. We are very available, and I appreciate and love every one of you guys. I'll see you all next week.